Elvis, a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Hello and thank you for clicking on my channel. Today I want to share my review about the movie Elvis. The director of this movie is Baz Luhrmann, and whenever I hear the name Baz Luhrmann, I think of something flashy, something dazzling, something too bright. If you watch the movie The Great Gatsby or The Moulin Rouge, which were directed by Baz Luhrmann, you know what I mean. So, the movie Elvis, the biopic of Elvis Presley, is the movie that should be directed by Baz Luhrmann, and here we are. The actors of this movie, well, we have Austin Butler, who is just literally Elvis Presley. I mean, it is one of the best actings I've ever seen in a biopic, and it's not like he looks too much like Elvis Presley. They have differences as far as the face and the figure is concerned, but he just becomes Elvis, and that's why he was the perfect casting for this role. Alongside Austin Butler, we have Tom Hanks, who doesn't need any introduction, and I already did a podcast about him, so if you haven't heard that, just check it on my list. And yeah, those are the two main guys. Before I share my review about Elvis, I just have to say a few quick things about biopics and why I don't like them. I'm never thrilled actually to watch a biopic, and I have my reasons, especially after watching Bohemian Rhapsody, because biopics are told stories and they were recited many times. To be fair, with a quick check on Wikipedia you can know everything about someone. It's not like you're gonna get surprised in a biopic movie. But because the Academy, the Oscars love biopic movies and they give out awards for them, these movies are a lot in Hollywood. Because the data is already on the internet, the directors, because they want to make their movies interesting, have to exaggerate things and dramatize stuff. So they create dialogues, they create situations, and even to a point that they introduce new characters to a story, to real life that weren't even there. These stuff makes the movie untrustworthy, and to be honest, it looks like a scam, and that's why I don't like them. But what's the difference between Elvis and other biopics that makes the movie great? First of all, the narration. We watch the movie from the perspective of the bad guy of the movie, which is called Colonel Tom Parker, played by Tom Hanks, who was Elvis's manager for many years. He fed off Elvis Presley. We hear the movie from his perspective, and he says, people say I killed Elvis Presley, but I want to tell you why not. So he tells the story of how he met Elvis Presley and where they ended up. This choice of narration and point of view made audience look at Elvis Presley from a perspective that neither exaggerated his lifestyle nor made it look superficial and shallow. Actually, for the first good 15 to 20 minutes of the movie, we don't see Elvis Presley. He's like a legend, he's like something big which is about to happen. And that narration was a brilliant choice from the director and the writers, because it was so nuanced and so novel. This humble narration, I could say, made people look at Elvis Presley as just a man, not only the legend. His relationship with his family, his problems, and they weren't to a point that were falsified or dramatized. They were just some little strings of reality that were proven in those days. He was introduced as just a man who wanted to sing with complete respect. The other thing that made this movie interesting was the history part of it. History is always boring in movies, especially in biopics, but the events that happened during Elvis's lifetime were huge. Dr. King and Bobby Kennedy, they were both shot dead, and the movie addressed them with just enough to make people realize the time that these things had happened and the reactions that people had in those days. And it was really a nice touch, because when you have a movie in the 60s and you live in America, these two stuff must have had some effects on your life and your point of view. The other thing that made this movie perfect was the performances, man. It was so good and satisfying. The energy, the style, the editing, and especially I said Austin Butler's acting were just top notch and electrifying, which kind of made me rewatch them again, because those performances, especially the one in the beginning of the movie where Elvis is just beginning his work, the audience's reaction, everything is just so satisfying and beautiful to watch. I mean, Jeremy Jahns said it on his channel that people now know what Elvis Presley could do, but back then it was something new, and this movie showed us what does it feel to watch something for the first time. I didn't dislike something major in this movie. I mean, you're trying to jam more than 20 years of one of the biggest legends in music history into a movie which is 2 hours and a half. Of course you're gonna overlook some things, but as far as biopics go, this movie was really good. Maybe Tom Hanks's makeup was a bit over the top, but Elvis's makeup was so good that I can't say anything about Tom Hanks's makeup. And final words, Elvis was one of my favorite movies of the year so far. I watched so many movies this year because of my channel and stuff, but it was one of my favorite movies so far. Especially I hope Austin Butler gets nominated for an Oscar because he did a wonderful job. And I am so happy for Baz Luhrmann to finally find the movie that he had to direct. It was so signature of Baz Luhrmann. It was so satisfying. Have you got the chance to watch Elvis? What do you think about it? Comment your thoughts and reviews down below and let me know. And it's not like I'm going to rewatch this movie because it's a biopic. Who the hell watches a biopic 2 times? But it was really good. Thanks for listening to my voice. Hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. And as always, thanks. Bye.